The parade in downtown Chicago. The Cubs have finally won it all. But what led up to this magical moment? And can they do it again? Let's find out. Kris Bryant, the game-winning throw to Anthony Rizzo that finally ended the so-called curse. Yes, it happened, but on April 17th, 2015, Kris Bryant made his Chicago Cubs debut. Unfortunately for him, though, he did strike out, but I think he's pretty happy with what has happened 1 year later. Can it happen again? Absolutely. The Cubs now try to go and win back-to-back titles, which they actually did do in 1907 and 1908, the last time they won the World Series. So what's not to say they can't do it in 2016, 2017? Well, between the front office with Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer, the Chicago Cubs really have, those two really can bring a lot of talent into the organization through the farm system, just like Theo did when he was with the Boston Red Sox. One big reason that the Cubs won it all in 2016, they had a lot of talent, a lot of young talent, as well as a lot of veteran players. The young talent and the veteran players, when you combine them all, it gives a sense of leadership to the younger players who haven't been there before. And I think really 2015 especially was a learning point, with them making it to the NLCS and unfortunately getting swept by the Mets. But I think in a way it was a good thing because they learned that it's not easy. You can't just expect to win it all every year, as we've come to see with the Blackhawks, even, in their runs in 2010, 2013, and 2015. And speaking of the Blackhawks, the Cubs really are built the exact same way as the Blackhawks. They have a lot of young players, but, now as they've grown, a lot of those younger players have turned into veteran players. But if you go back to 2010, when they won the first one, comparing that to the 2016 Cubs, they really have a very similar situation. They had some older guys on that team. Jonathan Taves and Patrick King were newer and were just from Rockford, which in the Cubs case would be Iowa. They really have the same scenario, and they had a lot of older players too, like John Madden, no relation to the NFL broadcaster. John Madden was an older player that played for the Blackhawks that really was a big role in 2010 and them winning their first title. And with the Cubs, you could compare that to a guy like David Ross, who unfortunately, has retired, but even John Lester, who is definitely an older player for the Cubs. I would say another one of the really big factors in the Cubs repeating would be Joe Madden. Now, a lot of people, I like to throw him under the bus, like, he should have left in Hendricks longer. But let's face it, one game does not make, an entire post-season run, and even regular season run. Yes, they could have blown the whole series. It was Game 7, but it did not. So I really do feel the way the atmosphere he has brought to the clubhouse really just loosens these guys up. Going into this year, I really think it's even going to be an improved team from last year, which you think, wow, how can that be? But now the truth is, when you win a title, it takes a lot of pressure off your back. And that whole curse nonsense is out the door now. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And now you can just focus on winning ball games and winning one game at a time. And I think that will benefit them in the long run. And I really do think now with the experience and with the improved bullpen that they've added in the offseason, I really do think we will be seeing a 2017 championship Chicago Cubs team.